Okay, hi everyone. We're group 2 and we're doing our presentation on social media engagement and addictive apps. So this is just our content page. We're going to go through all of these things, defining and identifying social media applications, development and engagement with social media and applications, positive and negative effects of social media and what makes them addictive, how to curb the effects of social media and addictive apps, social theory application, what social media and addictive apps mean for society, and then our references. So defining social media. The big question is, what is social media? According to Merriam-Webster, social media is forms of electronic communication such as websites for social networking and microblogging, through which users create online communities to share information, ideas, personal messages, and other content such as videos. Within the Carr and Hayes article, they kind of pose this question of like, what is social media and why is social media? Basically, they talk about that we know what social media is, but we don't necessarily know why they are, what they are, basically. So why they exist and why they exist the way they do. And various disciplines address this idea differently. So they kind of bring up this idea that there are a bunch of different definitions of social media. Their definition is basically it's internet-based, it has disentrained, persistent channels. It creates this idea of perceived interactivity, and it thrives off of user-generated value. Within this, there are social media applications. Obviously, it's what we use to get onto social media. Usually they're designed for mobile devices, mostly smartphones, as you guys know, but you can put them on computers now, or iPads, or your Apple Watch. Like, they're basically everywhere. Because there's such a broad spectrum of social media platforms, the application of social media is like super diverse. You can use it for a bunch of different things. And it's not just like limited to sharing pictures of yourself or businesses marketing. It's got a huge array of uses. And not one social media platform is generalizable to every social media platform, which kind of goes back to that Carr and Hayes article. The Eichner et al. Article basically comes up with 5 reasons that people use social media. The first one is socializing, obviously. Second one's romance. So you can obviously, you got Tinder, you got sliding into somebody's DMs, company and brand interaction, job seeking. So, you can have like LinkedIn or like all those different job search apps like Indeed, and then just business in general, like selling stuff. That's a little different than company and brand interaction in just the way of like you're actually doing your business on the app versus just marketing your business on the app.
Social media has grown a lot over the years, and it is something that is only growing more and more. Social media was originally only on desktop computers, such as websites like Facebook, but with the help of smartphones and high-speed internet, social media is popular in all areas of the world and is now available in homes, businesses, and public places. Social media was first created as a way to interact with friends and family digitally, but it has now become a big platform for businesses and opening up a new way to get their brand heard. In 2021, 91.9% of U.S. marketers and companies largest than 100 employees were expected to use social media for marketing purposes. Engagement is a huge part of social media and makes it what it is. Social media engagement is things such as comments, shares, likes, and mentions. Social media and its engagement has become very beneficial for brands. Brands can not only reach out to customers in a timely manner, they are also able to build relationships and learn firsthand things that can be improved by the feedback they get on social media. In 2020, over 3.6 billion people were using social media worldwide, a number projected to increase to almost 4.41 billion in 2025.
Hello, my name is Timothy Kincaid, and I will be talking about the positives and negatives of social media. First, the positives. One of the biggest net wins of social media is its ability to provide a platform which allows corporations and other private entities to be held more accountable for their actions under public scrutiny. Another really positive aspect of social media is its ability to draw supporters to a cause, such as a charity. No other outlet before has had such widespread influence, and thus outreach is at an all-time high in this regard. At times, social media can be a great place to learn new things or expand your knowledge, and it gives people resources which would have been unthinkable in the not-so-distant past. At its best, the internet provides the framework for people to share their experiences and help others who are undergoing the same trials and tribulations, whatever they may be. And in that same vein, instant access to worldwide news has brought us closer together as a global community. Whatever is happening in the world, you are sure to be able to find plenty of different viewpoints all talking about it, sometimes even rationally, too. And of course, the socializing. Social media has revolutionized our ability to communicate with people with whom we might have simply fallen out of touch with in previous generations. And beyond that, there is ample opportunity to meet new people from all around the globe. Of course, there is also a darker side to social media. Not everything is perfect in this world of interconnectivity. As much as social media has the power to inform, it also has the power to misinform. In a similar way, skewed presentations and subsequent perceptions can lead to a negative self-image and other mental health issues. Another harrowing aspect of social media is the breach of your privacy. It's no secret that the big social media companies make a few dollars on your personal information and data, but there is also the risk of other scams or direct attempts to steal your identity. People can also become addicted to social media, and addiction is bad. Spending too much time on social media can increase one's risk of encountering the other negatives as well. And finally, there is some evidence to suggest that social media has somewhat diminished our ability to learn and conduct research effectively, primarily because of the ease in finding information in the age of social media.
All right, here we go. And for my part, I got addiction to social media and apps and how we could curb this addiction. And for addiction itself, I'm going to use a research paper done by Howe, and it's titled Impact of Social Media Impacts Mediation and Intervention. So, addiction is defined as any excess of time. And then some of the symptoms, like in this study, will be stress, anxiety, and depression. And from this study, the effects of addiction to social media and other apps is done in the first study, and that's the effect of mental health. And the first thing that it goes over is how the addiction affects our self-esteem, which in turn affects our mental health. And so first off, what is the self? I'll refer to George Mead's definition. No one is born with a self already intact. Rather, the self can only emerge out of social interaction. And this is the part of the self that is getting distorted or being affected with the addiction. So our self, as it is being created through our interaction of social media and other apps, that's what's affecting our mental health. So if it's not developing, our self isn't developing in the right way because of the addiction, it affects our mental health. And then the intervention that was used in this study by Howe was recognition. And what that is just the participants in the survey and research by how we're given questions to think about, and what they were was like, how long did you spend on social media? And then they write down like how much they spent on time, like where were you, stuff like that. So rethinking about when they were on social media or other apps, have them rethink about the time that was spent on there. And what the results from this was a decrease in hours of usage. So it went from 20 hours, which was considered addiction, down to 14 hours, so a decrease of 16 hours. And that is my part on addiction to social media and apps and how we could curb that.
And to sum it all up, I will apply social theory to the idea of social media and addictive apps. So immediately I thought it'd be interesting to apply C. Wright Mills' theory of the sociological imagination to the internet, and well, to social media, to really expand it in essence. I find that using that idea, a globalized online community offers users the opportunity to engage and experience in very different worldviews, which is kind of the idea of that sociological imagination. A lot of Bordeaux applies as well. And I have a quote here that says, "Habitus is created through a social rather than individual process, leading to patterns that are enduring and transferable." And something like that is seen easily in how misinformation spreads so quickly on the internet, and especially through social media, because we share so much so often. Also, Irving Goffman in the presentation of the self is once again something that was evident in our cybersexuality module as well, but definitely you could see curated lives of people on the internet and with the information that they choose to share. Another quote from the article that I referred to is, "This seemingly banal tweet becomes an important tool to say, 'Look at me,' or 'I exist.' This need to confirm their identities keeps regular users invested in the act of posting on social media websites on a regular, sometimes daily or hourly basis." So this is also tying in a little bit of Bordeaux's idea that basically the banal small things in life are actually quite important and worthwhile to analyze. Social media and addictive apps for society have a way of changing perspectives widely. There's also an interesting conflict that all these application programmers and companies can have access to so much data of what we are doing daily, but sociological researchers actually don't have social scientists don't even have the access to that kind of information. So we are lacking kind of research in those areas, when I feel like that would be a great resource to tap into, especially for sociological research. And exposure to global radicalized groups and social movements like BLM, Arab Summer, and the January 6th insurrection. The functionalist and interactionist idea of social media and addictive apps, that, social media has a role and a function in society, but through the symbolic interactionist idea and theory, you find that people also think that those roles and functions have different meanings, and they don't mean the same thing to everyone. Here's our references. Thanks, guys.